Hey gang, Denis here. Today I'm mountain biking in Morin Heights, and the topic I'd like to talk with you today is something as a person that you absolutely need to know. And as a manager, you need to know for yourself, but also you need to know for people that are in your team. It's super important. Today I would like to talk to you about strengths, weaknesses, blind spot, and fatal flaws. Stay tuned. Hey gang, I am Denis, a former IT executive. My goal now is to help you transform your career and your organizations. One idea per week in my outdoor studio. Let's get started.
Storms on the roof, secrets whispered, bulletproof. We build worlds out of steel. Now they're ruins of something we feel.
Let's start first with the strengths. Obviously, this is something you're really good at. It can be a competency, a skills, a behavior, something that set you apart. You really enjoy doing it. When you look at the output you're producing, when you're doing your strengths, so obviously it's better than your peers and your colleagues. On the opposite side, weaknesses, it's something that you're not good at it. You always struggle with. Can be competency, skills, behavior, same thing. And if you look at the output, all the effort that you put, you don't get what your peers are getting out of the same amount of work or same amount of task or work that you have to do. And if we look at the blind spot, typically this is a weakness that you don't know that you have. And that can be a major roadblock and problem, because if you have a weakness and you don't know you have that weakness, that can put you in a lot of troubles. On the other side, if we look at a fatal flaw, this can be a major issue in your career. And I'll describe a fatal flaw as two things. First, can be a weakness that you don't know that you have, a fatal flaw, but that fatal flaw or that key weaknesses is a major things that you need to do in your work. Let's say you absolutely need to be good at looking at details in numbers, small details and data analysis, and that's something that you believe you're good at, but you're not, and that's something that is super important in your job. So that can be a fatal flaw. Another thing that I can describe as a fatal flaw is something you believe is one of your strengths, but everybody around you know it's one of your weakness, and you keep using that strength all the time, but it's one of your weakness, and that's a fatal flaw. Let's say you believe you're super good at teamwork or coaching and helping people and like emotional intelligence, and the fact is you're not. So people believe that you're not good at coaching them, you're not good at that emotional intelligence, be close with people, team working, and you keep using that and seeing yourself as a leader, but behind your back everybody's talking that you're not. So that is a major fatal flaw, and you absolutely need to fix that, at least be aware of it. Now let's talk about what you should do with strength, weaknesses, blind spot, and fatal flaw. For the strengths, first thing is make sure you identify or you involve yourself in project and work where you can leverage your strengths, because the output you will produce will be above your peers and it will ask you for less effort for a great output. So look for assignment, projects where you can leverage your strengths. The other thing is, when you look at your career development, look for opportunity where you can amplify your strengths. So what I mean by that is you can develop new strengths, new skills, knowledge, experience that will amplify your strengths. Let's say you're super good at explaining technical concepts, but you're not that great at communicating those technical concepts. So what you can do is you can develop yourself to be a better communicator, better explain stuff. So when you combine that, so with your strengths of being very good at explaining hard and complex concept, so you will amplify your strengths. So look for all your strengths and find out how you can amplify them. On the other side, if you look at your weaknesses, first you need to be aware of them. And secondly, you need to find ways to mitigate your weaknesses. I'm not a big fan of trying to turn your weaknesses into a strength. I'm more in the side of finding ways, when I know what are my weaknesses, finding ways where I can mitigate them so that I won't be in trouble. So it can be asking a colleague to help you, leverage AI to help you from that point of view, so that you know what are your weaknesses and how you can mitigate them in the work that you have to do. Let's say, get back to my example, that you need to do data analysis and you're not good at looking at all the details, and you're more like a strategy, big number, big picture kind of a person. So, but you do have to do in your work some data analysis. So what you can do, you still have to do it, right? It's part of your work and your assignment. So you have to do it. You can ask a colleague to revise with you, look at all the numbers with you. For sure, you'll pay attention when you're doing it because you know you're not super good at it. Ask a colleague. Also, you can leverage some AI tool to do some analysis with you and help you to do that. Or if you work in a large organization, you can ask a data analysis to work alongside with you to double check your work and stuff like that. That's what I mean when I say mitigate your weaknesses, and it's super important. If we look on the blind spot point of view, so what you have to do is absolutely go around and ask people if you have any blind spot. So ask your colleagues, your peers, your mentor, coach, friends, family, so that they tell you, like people you trust and you know they will be honest with you. If you have any weaknesses, what those weaknesses are, and go over the list and when you have the discussion with them, but be super honest with you and yourself and look in the mirror and say, those are weaknesses I have, or I didn't know I have. So at least you'll find out if you have any blind spots, stuff that you should be aware of and you didn't know you have. On the fatal flaw, kind of the same thing, right? So go with all the people you trust and make sure that you find out if you have any weaknesses that you were not aware, blind spot, but those blind spots are something you absolutely have to leverage in your work and put all the mitigation in place to avoid any issue there. And same thing with if you have any weaknesses or fatal flaw that you strengths that you believe that you have but you don't have. So same thing when you're talking with people, you need to ID those that you don't have any fatal flaws, that you're doing something you believe you're the king or the queen of it, but at the end you're absolutely not, you're completely full and people know. So that can be a fatal flaw. And one last thing on the strength side is make sure that you don't overuse your strengths, because that can become a weakness. If you know you're super good at something and you keep using that all the time, you don't develop yourself, you don't improve yourself. So make sure that you don't overuse all the strengths that you have. You have to keep developing yourself, keep finding if you have new strength stuff. That's when you try new project and new things, you'll see if you have things that you didn't know you were that good with it, right? Until you try, you don't know. So that's super important. And I say as a person, it's important to know all those four things, that you can look for the right assignments, projects, next career move and things like that. And as a manager, so it's important for you to know, yes, for yourself as a manager, but for all the people in your team, so all their strengths, weaknesses, if they have any blind spot or fatal flaws that I'm not aware. And that's your role as a manager, to tell them so that they have those weaknesses, blind spot and fatal flaws, and help them to mitigate and train them and coach them and mentor them to overcome that, and to help them to go through that, using leverage that in their career. Same thing with the strengths, that you can leverage their strengths and amplify their strengths to make them a better employee and a better persons. That's it. That's what I want to talk with you today. Hopefully it was a good topic today. So as usual, if you like the topic today, please click on the like button below. And if you'd like to receive a weekly update like that, just subscribe to the channel and stay tuned. I'll share with you a little bit of my mountain bike ride I did today. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.
Thank you.